Hi there YouTube, this is the Magnus, bringing you another Total War Warhammer Online Ladder Battle. This time my opponent chose the Warriors of Chaos, and I decided to bring the Beastmen. Now, taking a look at my build here, I brought one Giant, 3 Bestigors, 3 Gore, 3 of the Ungor Spearherd, of course 2 Gorebulls for casting Flock of Doom, and the Beast Lord on a chariot, which I'm sure is going to be a great way to spend my money. I never bring the chariot, and you're going to find out why. My opponent brought the Chaos Sorcerer of Death on the on a dragon here, which is pretty interesting. His entire build's pretty atypical. He's got 3 dragon ogres deployed up front. He has 1 hell cannon, and then in the back here he has 3 of the Chaos Warriors with great weapons and 2 Forsaken. So an unusual composition laid out in an unusual way, so I'm not quite sure what to expect. But I begin pushing immediately, as I do not have artillery arranged in this composition. So as I'm moving up, I see the Chaos Sorcerer of Death coming, so I know what he's going to do. He's going to Spirit Leech somebody. I'm just curious whether it'll be the Bray Shaman, a Gorebull potentially, but I doubt it, or the Beast Lord. And the Beast Lord wins the Your Hosed lottery. So he gets hit with a Spirit Leech, and we're going to see the effects of that as my army advances. The rest of the guys do not seem phased at all, though. The Gorebull still wants to fight. He's going to march up. I have everybody in one control group because I want to keep the horde in this formation. It's very easy with the varying speeds of the units that you have as the Beastmen to have your army get disjointed. Some people getting ahead of others and whatnot. So looking at the Beast Lord, he took a pretty heavy hit from that first Spirit Leech, and his Chaos Sorcerer is just going to hang around like the grim specter of death he is on his 2-headed Chaos Dragon. And there it comes again. So potentially looking at getting my leader spiked before the battle even starts. That's never a good thing. Smart play by my opponent, though. Now I will say, before the battle, my opponent mentioned this was a new build and he didn't know how it would do. So I said I've been there many times, and my composition was one I just kind of put together. I didn't use one of my standard ones, just kind of playing around a little bit. So both of us with more fun builds, which is pretty unusual when you're playing quick battles or ladder battles, whatever you want to call them, as it's very competitive. But sometimes, you know, if you want to find out if something works, you've got to try it on the ladder, because results you get from playing the AI or multiplayer battles are just not trustworthy. So I start retreating the Beast Lord just because I want his Chaos Sorcerer to have to wander a little bit further away if he wants to finish him off. And he takes his 3rd Spirit Leech there. My men continue to advance, and now I'm starting to issue specific orders as to who's going to attack what. My goal being to get the Bestigors on these Dragon Ogres, because they are very nasty fellows, and they're anti-large, so I'm trying to keep them off my Gorebulls. But Gorebull's going to punch the first thing he sees. He doesn't care. I actually have both of them targeting the Hell Cannon, trying to break through. So I bring back my Beast Lord, thinking maybe he forgot about me. He didn't. Another Spirit Leech, but I figured, hey, I'll at least get a couple of charges through on his chariot here. Maybe kill a guy or two and feel like I did something. And he is racking up some kills there quickly, but he's also dying even more quickly. So that's going to create an issue for me. But I do have a nice surround on all of his units here in the center. One of my Gorebulls did break through and is messing with the Hell Cannon. He's going to pull back all of his Dragon Ogres. And at first I was like, should I give chase? And then I thought, no, I should polish off his infantry and then attack his core, which is all going to be centered around here. So I'm popping the abilities on my Gorebull, and I'm also going to use his Potion of Toughness to extend his life here. These Forsaken, for whatever reason, are not participating, but I'm going to make them get involved as I charge them with the Bestigor. Anytime you get a chance to get a naked charge on somebody, you got to take it, but he catches it just in time. And so I don't get that charge there. Over here, my Giant is getting Spirit Leeched as well. It's going to be effective on him, but not as much as my Beast Lord, because the Giant has a ton more HP. I'm using Flock of Doom on his Giant stack here. Why not? Being able to reduce these Dragon Ogres without taking damage myself is great. Now, overall, the infantry battle's mine, so I decide it's time to swarm his harder units here and see if we can't overwhelm them with sheer numbers and ferocity. And you're going to see my guys come charging in. He countercharges with the Dragon Ogres. But again, these guys are anti-large. Sure, they're going to do a good job against my crappy little infantry, but it's not necessarily a cost-effective exchange. He brings in the Chaos Sorcerer. He's going to be spreading some fear and terror into my units. But my Gorebulls are holding up, even though they're now being Spirit Leeched. And I continue to use Flock of Doom to reduce the health of all of his units in this area, and that's really going to put a hurt on him. You're going to see as Flock of Doom ticks, so does the bar in my favor. So a big exchange happening here right in the center. A giant blob, two Horde armies, two Chaos armies going at it. You know it's not going to be pretty. You know it's not going to be tactical in the end. It's just going to be a giant offering to the Blood God. And the Blood God's got to be pleased, because people and beasts and all kinds of hellish creatures are bleeding out here. He brings his Chaos Sorcerer back in, who took considerable damage the last time he was in here. And I'm going to target him immediately and try to get him off the field. You can see the giant, many of my infantry gathered around, and they slay that dragon. Another Flock of Doom comes down. His Dragon Ogres decide they've had enough. And that's just going to leave the Hell Cannon. I think there's just one dwarf manning it. But again, they are unbreakable. Let's see if I can find his butt here. Where is he? Everybody's looking for him. Okay, here he is. One little Chaos Dwarf. And then two Gorebulls are going to stand over his knockdown body. And boom! Take a nice cut at him there. And that's going to be the end of Chaos. And we get a Pyrrhic victory for the Beastmen. Now, I think it was a little better than Pyrrhic, but, hey, the machine's in charge, not me. So let's take a look at how my army did. Surprisingly, with his very short-lived experience, the Beast Lord did get 21 kills on that charge into the Forsaken, so he wasn't completely useless, so that's good. Flock of Doom definitely stole the show. The Bestigors did well. The Giant did well. Could have fought another battle if he wanted to. My cheaper infantry did what they're supposed to do. They held things down and got some kills along the way. Nobody's going to have a lot of kills because he had a very small army. His Forsaken did very well against me, and were definitely the stars of the show on his side. The Hell Cannon, not a great choice against the Beastmen. You may like it because you're afraid they're going to bring Cygors, or you may like it because you can force the Beastmen to come to you. But the Beastmen as a whole are one of the fastest factions, if not the fastest faction in the game, which means they're going to be able to close that gap between your artillery and them very quickly. So generally expensive artillery, or really any artillery, is not going to be nearly as effective. The Dragon Ogres did well, but obviously not enough to pay for themselves. So a good game to Spaniard, definitely an interesting build, but I would say the only thing that I got out of it was don't bring the Hell Cannon, and that Forsaken are very good against the Beastmen infantry, which by and large are pretty poor. Not cost-effective wise, but they're just weaker. So an interesting battle. If you liked it, if you learned something, please hit like, please hit subscribe. If you haven't done already, please take a look at my 200 subscriber video, the giveaway for the new DLC. There's 2 ways to win. 2 people are going to win, and the winners will be announced the day before the DLC drops, which is on the 20th. So you will have it in your Steam account the day before, on the 19th. 2 ways to win. Very interesting. Look forward to you guys checking that out. Until the next time, this is the Magnus, and I'll see you on the ladder.